Happy Friday. Today's February the 18th, 2022. Welcome to the PHx2 podcast, episode 4. I'm PH, Hoang. He's PH, Paul High. We're all PHs. Paul, what's today's acronym PH?
Ooh. Well, good morning, everyone. Today's PH is Patek and Hublot.
Love it.
You catch my drift?
I get your drift. Yes, a good segue into the topic of episode 4. Love it.
Yeah, I love Patek, and one day I'll wish to own one.
Yeah, it's on your list.
But I don't like Hublot. I'm not a fan.
Well, not many people love Hublot, mate. Just ask Nico.
No, never. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah. So, but how fitting, because today our episode is all about luxury watches, and it's all about business and something about leadership. But our key message today is it's never too late to start. And we have a very special guest to join us today. His name is Anthony Farah. He is the owner of Timepiece Gentlemen, aka TPG. They are a watch dealer based in Dallas in the United States. They have over 130K followers on YouTube. They post a lot of content on YouTube, and they are projecting to do over 50 million in sales this year alone. I think they're going to exceed that. I think they're going to do way more, because I know that Anthony is really driven, and it's good to have him on the show today. Welcome, Anthony. Thank you so much for coming on to our podcast.
Thank you.
We're here today with you as our first ever guest. So I'm very, very thankful for your time
and for you to come
on this. Yeah,
absolutely.
I guess I'll start off telling a story of how we got here today. My wife bought me, I think I seen your picture. My wife bought me a luxury watch last year for my 35th birthday. And then after that, I bought that watch. I started watching YouTube videos on watches. And I got to a point where, I found Timepiece Gentlemen. And I started following all of that. Then you launched your own channel, and I started following all of that. I started doing 75, not hard, probably soft medium, right? And then I saw that you were DMing Mark Wahlberg every day.
Yeah.
And I got me thinking, I'm going to try to DM Anthony, see if I can get his attention. And so I did that one go. I had a week's of content lined up to share with you along with the message, but you responded, and thanks for that. That's how we got here. And one last thing I'll say is that what you've done and your content has actually inspired me to read more books. And learn more. And that's the impact you've had on me. What about you, Phil?
Yeah, so maybe we should disclose to Anthony, when Anthony responded to the message, Paul called me. It was like 6 o'clock on a Friday, I think, when we responded. And he was so G'd up, he couldn't speak. He's like, bro, he kept saying bro for like 5 minutes. I go, mate, what is it, mate? You just called me after hours. What is it? Because mate, after responded, he's going to come on the podcast. And we just went off at each other. We were so excited. So greatly appreciated having you on. Nice to meet you as well, Anthony. Huge inspiration. The books, I actually, let's just say, imitated or inspired me to copy your goal of 52 books a year. And I'm 10 books down, 8 weeks in. And normally, I'm not a reader. I don't think I've read a book in years, right? I used to kind of throw people under the bus. How do people read a book a day? I mean, this is crazy, right? I literally read some of the books, obviously 200 pages. I do it in a day now, So huge inspiration there. I think big takeaway from your personal channel and TBG is definitely never too late to start. Because, sometimes when you're in the rat race, you think, you're too late, you can't start. But you know what? You guys are doing it, and that's really inspirational. And you guys are always looking to improve, always looking for that 1%. So, that's huge inspiration, and something I ended up inspiring to as well. So thank you.
Nice. That's awesome to hear, man. And full disclosure for me, that was more than likely Liz that responded to your message, and then she vet stuff.
All right.
Yeah. Liz is my right-hand woman, and she kind of helps me go through messages because with the million things that I have going on, multiple accounts, million things going on, I don't have time to get to all the messages. And so she goes through and vets them. And then I do remember her messaging me and asking me about a podcast. And it's, I get these messages all the time. And whatever she said to me that day, I just remember her saying something that was interesting. And I was just like, yeah, sure. Get me a time and get me some info about it.
Yeah.
And sure. If we can make it work, I'm happy to do it. So,
awesome.
So credit to her for answering that message. But that's kind of the same methodology for me messaging people like Mark Wahlberg is. I don't think Mark Wahlberg checks his own messages and is going to respond, but somebody in his organization will eventually see it, or someone will eventually hear about my name. I don't think they're actually going to see my message. I think they're going to hear my name somewhere else in some other form or fashion, and then go look me up on Instagram and then realize I've been messaging him. Oh, okay. Wow. It'll have a little bit more profound of an effect.
Yeah, it's like the 6 degrees of separation, right? Someone down the chain will eventually come in contact with you and then link it together, right?
Exactly.
I've heard multiple stories like that. I remember hearing one of the teeth whitening companies got Conor McGregor to promote the product. And it was basically the same thing, right? They were going through agent, and then one of the managers knew it was an Aussie, and it was an Aussie brand, and he made a connection, and all from Brisbane. So they kind of made that kind of synergy connection. You're local, let me try to help you out. And it was one of Conor McGregor's circle of trust. He was in that circle of trust with Conor McGregor. So that's kind of how they got the deal across. But good luck. Has anyone replied so far?
Not yet, but I did get. Actually, I can't say. I have an in. I think that someone very important to me passed along. So I'm going to, you utilize every resource. You throw out as many lines as you can, and you just hope one sticks. So,
well, good luck with it. Well, anyone listening here, does anyone know Mark Wahlberg? Anthony wants to chat to him. So direct me, DM me, Paul, or Anthony directly. We'll put a link in the how to reach Anthony.
Nice.
Cool. So 4 years ago, you were at a crossroad, right? Built a solid business, which is TBG. You live life on your own terms now, right? Was there anyone that helped you the most starting off?
When I got out, for anyone that doesn't know the whole story, I went to prison, got out, sold a watch that I owned, the only watch I owned coming out of the halfway house, and I made some money on it. And that got me thinking, this would be fun. I bought another one. I sold it a few days later and made $500. And I remember thinking, like, this is what I'm going to do for a long time now. That was fun and enjoyable. I was about a year into the business. The first year, it was just me. I kind of secluded myself from having fun and extracurriculars and just focused on networking and meeting as many people as I could. And about a year after I started, I met my business partner, Marco. He was introduced to me in a dealer group. I bought a watch from him, and then I bought another watch from him, and then we got to talking. And I would say his network and skill set at the time was my first big introduction to the watch industry. So if there were one person I'd give credit to at the beginning, it would be Marco.
We've been following that story, so we know how much Marco means to you and to the business. So that's great.
And I think one thing we notice is that you have all these great relationships with all the OGs and your competitors as well. Like, how did you build relationships with those guys?
Well, I scattered them out. When you're coming up in any business, you have to figure out who your competition is and why are they your competition? Obviously, they're the biggest. When you think about competition and you're early in business, you want to see who's the biggest name, who's the most recognized, who's doing the biggest business. You find those guys and, you assume that's your competition, but why are they your competition? What are they doing that's propelled them in front of everybody else? And you got to match that. And then you got to get on their radar. And then when you get on their radar and they start to become competition, you have to work with them and add value to them. So Roman, people have seen Roman on my videos. I've been on tons of Roman's videos. We have a great relationship. I talked to him 3 times today. Roman, whenever I was starting to get a little bit of traction on social media, I scouted him out and I started watching all of his videos to figure out what it was he was doing in the industry and how he was, quote unquote, the godfather of this. And then I learned that he was the one that, you know, was the first to really start selling watches on the internet. So you study your competition and you figure out how can you get close to that person. And then when you do get close to them, add value to them. You know, a lot of people I've seen with entrepreneurs that I've met over the years, they get close to their competition so they can steal from them. That's the only reason they want to get close to them. Steal their secrets, steal what they're doing. Why? Why don't you just go ask them, hey, how can I help you out? Now, what I figured out with Roman was that I was big on social media. Roman had a channel that was about 2 years, had been on the air about 2 years on YouTube. And I had been on Instagram. I had doubled the following on my personal Instagram page to what he had on YouTube at the time. And I did it in a matter of months versus him in a couple of years. So what I recognized was that I had a skill set that I could eventually give to him. He had a skill set he could give to me, which was being an OG in the business, the skills, the networks. And I had something that was missing for him. So I went to him and I said, hey, let's do a video. And I want to come do a video in your studio. And I want to, you know, cross promote that across my channel to give you some traction. When I got there, he showed me his whole operation. And, you know, it's one, a lot of people won't do that. A lot of people want to come in my position, would have wanted to come in, see his whole operation, maybe give him just a heads, like a little high five. And that's it. They want to take everything they can get from him, but not cross promote and not, you know, try to add more value to him. They just want to take. And I was the opposite. So I did that with everybody, every single one of my competition. The first thing I do is I give them a good deal. I take a loss on a watch. I overpay for one of their watches, whatever it is to get them to pay attention to me. If you just do a deal that's in your best interest and not theirs, they're not going to remember you. It's just a business deal. So you got to make it a personal, you got to give it a personal touch to where they remember you.
You're so right in that. And I mean, Phil and I, we work in the tech industry in Australia and New Zealand. And, you know, often you find out there in our market, there's a lot of guys that do go after other guys. And it's all about me. It's not about give, right? And that's something that not everyone can comprehend, you know, when they're dealing with someone that's on the other side.
When you think about it, when you think about working with competition, you think, oh, they're going to get my customers. And yes, that's true. Every time I go on and I promote a new dealer on my channel, yes, there is a chance that 1 or 2 of my customers are going to now become their customers. But I'm not worried about those 1 or 2. What I'm worried about is the image, the overall image of everyone that's out there watching, showing them that I am willing to help my competition. I'm willing to promote my competition, and I'm willing to work with them. In turn, that brings me more buyers anyway. So sure, there's a couple of your clients that are going to hop from person to person, but guess what? They hop from the guy that you're taking them from, or the guy that's taking them from you. You took them from someone else and they took them from someone else. So don't worry about those. Worry about the image that it's going to look like you're willing to help other people.
Yeah, spot on. I was on a LinkedIn audio podcast yesterday, and they were saying, you know, when you do a video, all right, when you do kind of like an open-ended video, you come across authentic because instead of doing a scripted monologue, when you have an open-ended video, you come across authentic. And then that essentially is more powerful building a brand than you quoting something and it's just monologue, right? So It's good that you identified that early on. So Anthony, what's your favorite watch at the moment?
I'll go with something I own. I have 2. I would say my all-time favorite is my Patek Philippe Nautilus 5990/1R. It's the 5990 blue dial and full rose gold on a bracelet.
Love a blue dial.
I don't have it, but this is a 5980. Like this is a 5980. Yes. Mine's one step up. It's a 5990 with the blue dial. I'd probably say that is my favorite watch. It's a great story of the client that I bought it from. I've actually bought a couple pieces from him, and I love them. I won't sell them. I'd say my second favorite is my rose gold Date 8 Presidential with the olive green dial. I've sold that watch many times, and I've passed on keeping it because I didn't want to have two rose gold pieces. But one finally came in the other day, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to keep this time before prices get too high.
Yeah, nice.
Are you wearing a watch at the moment?
Of course.
RM.
Yeah. So sorry if the camera's a little bit blurry, but this is the RM11 Felipe Massa Ivory Edition.
Yeah.
Now this watch, I'm not a big F1 fan yet. I've never really taken the time to watch it enough to become a fan. I like it. I know a couple of the drivers, but Felipe Massa has got a great history behind this. And then specifically his watch, right now, it's the only full rose gold RM you can get on the market under 400 grand. And with that being said, of all of the Felipe Massa models, this is one of the only limited editions in rose gold. So it's a rose gold RM under 400 grand, and it's actually a limited edition. Those kind of things are things I look for in collectability on a watch, is just unique aspects that separate it from a lot of the other pieces. So it's a limited edition piece. It's currently my favorite full rose gold RM. So
yeah, I haven't seen a rose gold RM, man. That's very, very rare.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 5 different straps for it, and this thing is it's an absolute beast on this orange strap.
Wow.
But I have it, isn't it? Yeah, I have it on white. I've got yellow. I've got pink, green.
Yeah, nice.
Thanks, man.
So full disclosure, Anthony, I'm a huge F1 fan. I've been a huge F1 fan since I was like 15. I'm 42 now, so I've literally watched every race since the late 90s. I've never missed a race. I watched it live and love all the drivers. I can script all the drivers out, quote all the drivers, and also love the business side of F1 because, it's only every fortnight it's a race, but it's an actual full-blown business. So I love the management. I love kind of the teams, how they're structured. So huge fan.
I was actually at an F1 race 3 or 4 weeks ago in Austin, and that was that was my first F1 race, and the business, like I can get into the racing, but same as you, I'm into the business side of it. I'm so infatuated with it that my investor and a friend of mine we almost bought a garage. Like they're building these things at the track in Austin, but they're 3 years out. I couldn't justify the price right now, but we almost bought this custom garage that would house cars and bikes and everything, so we could go have our own track dates.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's awesome. Well, they're going to Miami next year, so I might make it over there in May. So they haven't been in Miami for like 30 years, so that's going to be massive. So that means you have 2 races to go to, Austin and Miami.
I'll go. I'm going to, I get off, again, we all know my background. I get off parole in the middle of April, and I am allowed to get my passport then. So I want to get into F1. The watch scene in F1 is mind blowing. And so just from a marketing perspective and a business perspective, whether I watch the race or not, me being at the F1 is crucial to marketing for my business. So once I am free to travel, I plan on going to Dubai, or all over Spain, wherever all the F1 tracks are. And I do actually want to start following the series race by race.
Well, Rolex only advertises in F1 and yachting, right? Even they know they target their audience. That's that's the audience.
Right.
What would be your first stop overseas?
Well, I wanted to go to Greece, but after the last IWJG show where I met Nico and Spencer Dreyer and Paul Thorpe, they've invited me to the UK. So London may be actually my first stop. London. They have a fun week for me whenever I can get out there.
Right. I don't think you make it back alive with those two. They seem pretty wide character. I feel the pain already.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said, which is why I think I should go there.
Yeah, well, definitely have fun there when you get there.
Oh, absolutely.
And speaking of the business side, I mean, TPG and your company, you have a lot of inventory, right? Where you are. And I hear that you are relocating as well and you're opening a second location.
I am. So we've been prepping for that, and we've got about 3 more months of work to do on it to get it completely around. The stage that we're in right now is we're trying to prep Dallas for my leave and our expansion. We're expanding to LA. I'm just going to go there, and I'm trying to focus solely on LA, because what I've built in Dallas in the last year and a half, I believe I can replicate in LA in less than a year, and even do even more volume. And when I do get to LA, so in Dallas, we carry anywhere from 2 to 4 million in inventory on a consistent basis. In LA, I plan on having about an average of 10 million in inventory between stuff I own and consignments, memos, stuff like that. So it's going to be big. And then I'm also bringing a concept to LA that nobody else has ever done, simply because of the cost, the risk, those two things, the cost and the risk, have kept anyone from ever doing it. But exactly what I'm going to do is what I'm going to do is exactly what a place like LA needs. And I will, you mark my word here, I will dominate the LA watch scene within a year.
Well, what you said definitely reflects Anthony's style. So in what we watch. So that is completely you.
Go big or go home, right?
That's right. I don't think you can do it any other way.
Yeah.
Right.
And for our Australia and New Zealand listeners, followers, how can they get access to your inventory if they want to buy a watch?
So logistics, typically when people international want to buy from us, it's because the prices in the US are cheaper than what you can get in, say, Australia, the UK, London, Hong Kong, Dubai. But they're cheaper before you factor in the VAT taxes and the import, like the duties to get it in the country.
Yeah.
Without me doing something under the table or behind the book, I can't get those to you any cheaper than you can normally buy them yourself. Now, for that reason, that eliminates a lot of that right there. Is just the VAT taxes make it too expensive. And then the logistics, since COVID started, shipping international is an absolute nightmare. It's, where it used to take 3 to 5 days to get something across the world and through customs, now takes a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, if something doesn't slip up. And when you're talking about 50, 100, 200, $300,000 watches that I have to pay for up front, it's not worth it to me, because we don't make the kind of margins to where I can afford to have a watch potentially get stuck in customs for 2-3 weeks and me be out that money. It doesn't make sense. So I'm hoping in the next several months that we're actually going to look into a couple different options for shipping international. It's not going to be rolled out anytime before summer, but we're hoping by summer to be able to offer full-on worldwide shipping within a select range of countries. It's going to be about summer before that's available. The other way would be to fly over and meet us in person in LA or Dallas.
That is true. Phil, I think you got to make it all your way out to LA to get your Batman.
You took the words out of my mouth, Anthony. That's why I'm wearing the Batman shirt.
Nice.
Yeah. So when you start up at LA, I mean, Paul and I usually head to CES January every year. We haven't been the last years of COVID, but definitely if we are locked in for 2023, I'd love to come past and pick up my Batman for sure.
You tell me when, man. I'll be here ready for you.
Yeah.
And I would say also, I think in our market, guys that can't find the watches that they want, because it is a bit limited. I mean, we don't even have a Richard Mille store that they can actually purchase from. We'll look at the US and where they can buy the watch that they want, because what we've seen is because of COVID and the inability to travel, people got money for luxury goods. They really love watches at the moment. And when I talk to my friends, they all talk about watches, this or even cars, but certainly as an investment, that's what I hear as well.
Yeah. When you talk about investments, I mean, majority of my money is tied up in my watch collection. That is my savings account. It's what I know the best. I have a little bit of money, very, very little bit of money in stocks. I've got a decent amount in crypto. And I've made a decent amount in crypto just getting honestly lucky, because Like I got lucky on a few plays that netted me really well, but I've pulled the most of it out, and I buy watches with it. Any big swings that I've had in crypto, I buy watches because it's what I know. I know I can pick the right ones that I can hold long term, and they'll be and I can enjoy them. You know what? Saving money is one thing, but for the most of it, all you can do is look at it on a computer screen. I get to physically hold my watches, wear them, enjoy them. They're conversation starters, which get me in the doors to other people, which make me more money. So
yes. I mean, isn't the thing when you're holding cash, you're losing money? Inflation, of course, it's devaluing every year, right? So.
Right, but the other thing is, like I said, wearing a watch gets me into more doors. Imagine trying to go in and weasel your way into some networking group by showing your bank statement.
Yeah.
Like that's just
that doesn't work.
What are your thoughts on NFTs? Do you have any NFT?
I do not own any right now. That's a new market for me. I'm learning a little bit about them. I have some ideas on NFTs and the TPG brand, but I can't talk about it yet. I think they're interesting. I don't like it. Honestly, you want my personal opinion? I think it's ridiculous and stupid, and I hate the metaverse, and I hate everything about that because it's going to create a world where people, one, don't want to leave their homes, or two, they value a digital token more than a physical asset, and that's coming. That's a scary world to live in.
Yeah.
But as much as I hate it, and as stupid as I think it is, I know that it's coming, and you have to be educated in it, and you can't wait till it's too late. And if you're not educated before it happens, it's too late, and you'll miss out.
Spot on. I've got we touched on the F1. Do you have a favorite driver?
From what I know about it and the watches that I know, I'd say Felipe Massa.
Yeah, Massa. Yeah, nice. And apart from the RM that you have now, what would be another famous F1 watch?
That's a good question. RM has just become become in my realm in the last 6 months. And I've only studied the watches that I know. So I've had a couple Nadals, which is tennis. I've got the Bubba Watson right now, which is golf. I've had the Roberto Mancini, which is soccer.
I saw Roman review and they called it out, the RM, the Kimi Raikkonen edition. I think it's a red one. So when he was racing for Ferrari back in the day, that's a pretty good collectible one. What about the RMs of Nadal? Actually, Nadal RM is actually on my wish list one day. Which one of his RMs would be a good pick?
Hands down, the 3503, the newest one. I mean, Nadal of all the series and all the athletes that have a series with RM, Nadal's my favorite. His just across the board, his watches blow me away. It's that new one on the button. It's on like a white baby blue strap. A baby blue strap with a white NTPT case. I'm trying to pull it up, see if I can show you a picture of it on here, but it's just, here we go.
Yeah. Is it the one he was playing with? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. That's amazing. That watch that's a grail piece for me, but what should be a $500,000 or $600,000 piece is already well into the low 1.2, 1.3 million. One day.
We finished with rapid fire, Anthony. So 5 questions in a minute. So I'll just rattle off these ones here. A word that motivates you.
Risk.
Your favorite
risk. Favorite book, The 12-Week Year. I love that book. Yes. I do it every year. I do it multiple times. I've read it multiple times. Great book for anyone that has a lot on their plate.
Yep. I subscribe to that book as well. So yes, I get it. Best part of your day?
Early mornings. Right when I wake up, clear head, quiet. Yeah. The rest of the world is sleeping. I've got a couple hours to knock out most of my day before anyone else is even up, before my competition started yet.
Good hustle. Your favorite quote?
Favorite quote? If you don't do it, someone else will.
That's a good one. I like that one. I love it. And your next purchase?
I would say the next big purchase, aside from a watch, because those are so sporadic, next big purchase is I really want a Ferrari Pista. Either a 488 GTB or a Pista. I want the Pista, which is like this one right here.
Yeah. Yes.
I actually want this car to spec.
Oh, that color?
Nice.
The baby blue color?
Everything, exact spec of this car.
Have you gone for a test drive?
I have not yet.
Oh, okay.
I kind of like, I don't know, I kind of want to just save it and not touch the car, not drive it, not anything until I get it. And just if I hit all my goals by my birthday, well, through March, if I hit my first 12 week goals and knock everything out of the park and I have a solid, profitable quarter, then I think I'm going to reward myself with that car. So
nice.
Love that.
Thank you. Well, Anthony, thank you so much for coming on our podcast. You are a true gentleman. You prove that, you can go from nothing to something. It's never too late to start. And someone that focuses on their goals, supports their competition, and just kills it every day in the morning is someone that's going to succeed in life and do better. So everything you do in your channel really inspires everyone, including myself and Phil. So thank you for that.
I appreciate that. Do you mind if I add one little thing? Sure. And it's probably where I found the most success in my career is if I could give a message to entrepreneurs is nobody knows your vision better than you. Nobody can see your vision. Nobody knows your discipline. Nobody knows how much heart you have into whatever project it is you want to try. So unless someone truly sees your vision and understands it, don't take advice from them, because every one of the big plays that I've done in my life, since I've started the watch business, every one of the big risky moves that I've taken that have paid off, I can promise you there were a line of people telling me not to do it. And so I always tell people don't take advice from friends or family, because their advice is designed to protect you. And protection means not taking risk, following the standard protocol, do what everybody else is doing. But the people that follow the herd and do what everyone else is doing never stand out. They never come out on top because everyone else is doing the same thing. So, go with your gut instinct. If you think something's risky, but you can't stop thinking about it and you're just itching to try it out, if you fail, you fail, whatever, it's a lesson. But you're going to have a better chance at succeeding at that because of that desire to do it. And so you have a much better chance of succeeding at whatever that thing is that everyone's telling you not to do. It's too risky, which they've told everyone else, and everyone else has listened to that advice and has not done it. Just because someone else isn't doing it doesn't mean it can't be done. It just means that everyone else asked someone like you and they said no, and they got scared and they didn't try it. So try it. Take a risk. If you fail, take a lesson, figure out how you failed, and then go try it again.
That's amazing. There you go, guys. Some words of wisdom from Anthony Farah. Make sure we're going to put the link in our podcast. Follow Timepiece Gentlemen, follow Anthony, follow their journey. They're killing it. They're setting goals. They're smashing it out there. And hope our listeners love what we've done today. And thank you again, Anthony.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Phil. And let me know anytime. We'll do this again. It was fun.
See you in LA. See you in LA in 12 months.